So Mark, I was about to move on to the mindset shift, but I want to, I'm putting myself in the shoes of those that might be watching or listening to this. And, what you're saying is a huge ask, right? Because we're talking about, the last 3 days of the month, Monday, the 30th is the last day of the month, what's likely to be one of the biggest funding months ever in the history of the mortgage industry. Certainly one of the biggest Novembers that's ever happened in the mortgage industry. So what would you say if I came to you and I said, Mark, like that all sounds great. And I love that, I wish I could live in the world where that was possible for me, but I'm too scared to do that. We're grinding it out. In fact, I'm hoping people work Thursday morning and definitely Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, super valid point. And it may not be realistic, but 9 times out of 10 with the loan officers that I'm coaching and myself, when I get mentorship from outside, and that includes conversations from you, it's not nearly as bad as I think that it is. And the alternative would be, Danny, hey, what if you don't do this? What if they do work Thursday morning? And what if they have a complete nervous breakdown because they can't spend time with their daughter, their husband, their mom and dad, whom they haven't seen forever on Thanksgiving, and they throw their hands up and say, I'm done? Which of those is the lesser of two evils? And right, it might not be that extreme. I believe that where your team is at, but I see so many that just they're lacking that team culture and that intimacy and the emotional IQ to know that, Danny, if you were to do this, the deposits that you're putting into the bank account of your team are going to reap such big rewards. They're going to feel so recharged. They're going to be more grateful, more loyal, a lot harder to poach from your competitors, and they're likely to come back with their batteries recharged, less mistakes. And even if they're working for a shorter amount of time, that could be getting more done. There's a lot that could come out of this. And so I would challenge whomever to look at it from both ways, but absolutely don't do anything reckless to your business, but really ask yourself, is it reckless? What if the worst possible thing happened and this loan didn't fund until Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday? What would really happen? Would you lose a referral partner for real? Or are you just telling yourself that story? Those types of things is what I would challenge you to do, because the alternative, in my opinion, is much worse.
Mark, that's incredibly well said, dude. Like really well articulated. And the only thing I'll add to that, and then we'll move on. And actually, the mindset shift we have to offer today is really just a perfect segue. There's a lot of currencies that are being traded, and those of you that are gonna stick with us on this journey, seeing these webinars, you're gonna hear me say that phrase a lot. There's a lot of currencies that are being traded, and they don't always trade at the same rate, right? So there's tactical currencies. That's things like money, right, and time, and then there's emotional currency. And when you're trading emotional currency, you're almost always getting a better exchange rate. So, as you were talking, Mark, I was flashing through my head, the scenario where, my production partner works Thursday morning, and then it turns out the turkey's dry and everybody's disappointed because they weren't there spending time with their family. And they look back and they regret those moments that they missed out on. And at that point, there's the withdrawal that just came out of that bank that you have, that trust bank you have with that person. That is so much larger of a withdrawal that you could make than anything that you could replace with money, which is really the only answers that you would have to that based on whatever fundings that happened in that